This part of this session is about discovering your client's buying strategy. It is one of the more fun and practical part of this program. This is as human beings are annoying every day with input from the outside world. In fact, the average person will receive 3,000 advertising images per day. 77% of all email traffic is made up of junk mails. I don't know about. I'm about sick of it. It's always there in order to deal with all this information. We have developed a set of unconscious patterns that tell us what to pay attention to. These patterns are different with different people. Also have buying patterns that they develop to save time and energy. These patterns determine what they will focus on in a presentation and how they store information that you give them. If you discover somebody's buying pattern, you can present your information in a way they would like to receive it. That's a very important, in a way that gets through their filter. If you don't know somebody's buying pattern, it's a very possible that your input can be screamed out because they are not looking for what you're giving. For example, you go to the doctor, you say, I have a headache, and doctor give you the tablet for your stomach upset. What will you do? You will scream. Right? You have to know these patterns and then present your information in a way that fits them. This is also very useful in other contexts, such as hearing. If somebody has a way of shouting and presenting information that's radically different from what is required for the job, it's good to know that upfront. Some jobs require very specific style, and some bosses can only work with certain style. I'm 100% you have your certain style. You say, this is my style to work. This is my style to learning. You know that. Now maybe you think two seconds. Just think about with yourself. What is your certain style to work with people? Do you have certain style to work with people? Just think about. What do you have certain style? Maybe you say, oh, this is my way. Sorry, I don't understand that way. I will do my way. I will do my certain style. Every single person has a certain style. Now, as you listen to the reminder of this session, look for the application of how you can use this affirmation with your kids, your partner, your friends or family, your job community, anything is. I will show you how to discover people's buying strategy. Are you ready to learn it? To discover people's buying strategy. Always full time. Now, qualifying people, finding out what really motivates them, what really make them do what they do. Have you thought about what really makes them do what they do? I want to give you some more quick distinction about patterns that people have been buying, literally customer buying pattern, and what they are, their distinction. Have you thought about your buying pattern? What they are? What makes people focus on things a certain way, what motivates them as an individual? And if you don't like this, a law, because it will help you not only in understanding how to motivate individual buyer, and you can motivate your team, your kids, maybe motivate some of your friends, and maybe most importantly motivate yourself. Understand, buy something you do think the way. Now you can think your style. Why you do. Think about why you do. Okay, before we can go next chapter, Just now we can do a little exercise, little meditations. Close your eyes. Close eyes, just lose your body. Close eyes, just lose your body. If you're driving, don't close eyes. Just focus your breathing. If you're driving, okay, if you're cleaning, don't close your eyes. Okay, just focus your breathing. Focus on your breathing. Just take a 3 deep breaths. You see your breathing is a fast or slow. If your breathing is really fast, calm down slow. Enjoy your breathing. 1, 2, 3. We can do 5, 4, 5. Now we can do 3 breaths again. Just imagine just healing going inside when you breathe in, but when you breathe out, you have all tiredness, all anxiety, all worry, they're coming out. Are you with me? Does it make sense? Yes. Okay, when you're healing power, you can say golden light going inside when you breathe out, just all your tiredness or any distraction, anything you really want, just release this emotion. This is called releasing your negative emotions. That's right. Okay, start. 1, 2, 3. Yes, start. 1. Yeah. Release your unwanted thought. 2, 3. Now you can big smile on your face. Just a big smile on your face. Just smiling. I have a beautiful smile and you have a beautiful teeth. You have. Smile. And now you just come in the peak state. We're just going to discover buyers. We're going to discover buyers strategy, which they use to buy the product and discover your strategy. Are you ready? Say yes. Say yes. Say yes. I think when you really want to discover someone's pattern, you have to understand their values. All human behavior is driven by values and belief. What are values? Have you thought of what are values? Values are the state of pleasure or pain we hold as most important versus less important. Very simple. There are 3 distinctions about type of values that you need to make. Means value, end values, archives of values. Okay, what do you think? What is a value? What is a value? Let's beginning number 1. You need to know what mean value is. You must know this. Maybe you already know that. If you know that, we can do study again. Often, when you ask people what is most important to them, okay, now I'm asking this question, what is the most important to you in your life? What is the most important to you in your life? Right, make a list. See what is most important to you. Right, just ask the questions. What is the most important to me in my life? My family, money, work, relationship, or my cars, my house, my parents. Write it. Make a list. Make a list. What's the most important to me? Make a list. Make it list. Okay. Maybe they will say things like money or family or cars or a relationship. You already made your list. If you make a list, stop the video, make the list. What is most important to myself? Or when you ask someone, what is most important to you? Right? Probably will they say money, family, cars, relationship, health, anything they can say. Because every single person has a different thing to important to them. Are you with me? Does it make sense? Yes. Say yes. This is not what they like. This is not what they like, money or family. This is not what they value most. These things are means to an end. This is what they see as vehicle to get what they really value. As a surprise, Yes, they really, they say, oh my God, it's a surprise because you say, oh, they don't want the money. Then you say, what they want? I want the money. But they need a state. They need a state. And what people really value most, what do you think? What people really value most? The target of their life are states of pleasure. Every single person wants a pleasure. And they want to have more of, and states of pain they are trying to avoid. They want a pleasure and they want to avoid pain because they want a money, they want a family, they need a nice car, maybe they need a holiday. What is this? They are vehicle. But what they state, what they give this, those are known as ends value. N, what do you think? It's amazing, no? In other words, ends value are the state we value most, either because we want to experience them or because we want to avoid them at all cost. You might want money. Why you want money? Why is very important to you? Because money gives you state. The reason that you want money is so it will give you more freedom, more security, or more power. The reason that you want money or you want success or you want a relationship, it will give you, we talk about just money. Money give you more freedom, more security, confident, more power, financial freedom, more confident. So freedom, security and power are example of ends value because they are states that we want. For example, you have £1,000,000 in your bank. You don't carry all the time your £1,000,000. You have a state, you have a feeling, I have £1,000,000 in my account. You have a security feeling. You feel more powerful. You don't carry all the time £1,000,000. You just carry only feeling, state, pleasure state. Same opposite, when you don't have money in your account unfortunately is empty. If you don't have money, then you feel no freedom, you don't have power. There's a feeling. If you have a lot of money in your account, you have a different state. But if you have a less money in your account, you have a different feeling. So far you with me? Well done. The only reason that we do anything is to try to get some level of pleasure or to avoid some level of pain. As a reason, we are saving the money because we don't want a pain. We want a pleasure. When we have a lot of money in our bank, it gives us pleasure. It gives us a feeling. It gives us state. But when we have a less money in our bank account, we have a pain. As a reason, what do we avoid? What do we avoid? No money in the account, which is we always want to put money in our account, and we have the feeling. When discovering and blueprinting your client, if they tell you they want something like a relationship, for example, you ask the client, what is most important to you in your life? The person say relationship. You need to find out what they want the relationship for. What do you mean relationship? It is only vehicle. Relationship, for some people think they want a relationship. They get into one and find out a relationship is not what they really wanted. What they wanted out of the relationship was some kind of feeling. The feeling, maybe it was security, maybe love, freedom. It was love, freedom, anything. Now you can ask yourself, if you, most important, your relationship, and ask the same questions. What do you want out of the relationship? Ask the question, what you want out of the relationship. Probably you say, I want the relationship, loyalty, love, security, freedom, I'm company, anything. Just every single person is a different purpose to get it, or different thing to get it. Every single person has a different way. Some people is in the relationship need the security, some people is I need the love, some people is I need the sex, some people say I need the intimacy. Every single person is a different value, different state. Give them passion. So far, are you with me? Well done. Just stretch your body. Just stretch your body now. Just stretch your body. Just take a deep breath. Well done. Yeah. And now, what you need to find out what the motivation force was. Listen it very careful. What you need to find out what the motivation force was. What was the deepest value was, the end value the person was going for. Okay, maybe I can give you the more detail now. Even when with end values, there are two more important distinction to make their towards end values. That is a state of pleasure that we value very deeply and we want more of, and they are away from end values. Those state that we value because they are so painful. Some people say, I don't want to go in the relationship because they felt a pain. Maybe they had a 2 or 3 relationship wasn't work, has a reason they don't want to go back in the relationship, has a reason they avoid relationship. They're so painful. Some people, they invest the money and they lost the money because they want a lot of money in their bank. For some reason, they invest the money somewhere, but they lost the money. Now they are so painful. They will avoid them. They don't want to invest the money. If somebody say invest the money, they say, oh no, I'm not going to listen it. You get it? Them at almost any cost. If, for example, you know that the number one moving toward value a person has in life is to be accepted, and a number one moving away from value is not be rejected. So for example, because for example, if your house environment is really disturbing and your work is really environment really friendly, you get a significance, you get the love connection, you get the success. Most of the time what you really want to spend the time at the work rather than in the house. When you finish your work, you have to go home, you say I don't want to go home, you're going to avoid go to home. See, you now know and have an emotional blueprint for what motivates this person's behavior in life. You also know that you will want to make sure your conscience of this prospect's needs, wants, want selling your product. Now you say selling your product. You have to find their pleasure. You have to find your pleasure state. You have to find their pain state, what they avoid in the life. You want to show them how by buying your product, it will be more pleasure and he will be more accepted by a large number of people that are important to him, and how he will actually experience less rejection. You also know his fear. But there's only one question you can find of his mind model. What is in his mind? What is a folder in his mind? So what is the most important to you in your life? He tells you. Know his fear, his that he by somebody's may think he made the wrong decision and reject him. Sometimes maybe he rejects he doesn't want to buy your product because he has a fear. Somebody may think he made the wrong decision and reject him maybe family, maybe friends, maybe partner. And that's probably his great fears. As a salesperson, you should handle this fear in advance before you start any presentation. Let's look at another scenario. Someone's number one moving towards value in life is contribution. That's right. Moving towards value in life is contribution. And the number one value they are trying move away from is feeling bored. They are important contribution and they avoid moving away feeling bored. Right? It's clear that you want to sell your product in a way that will actually make a difference while remaining interesting. Once you know how you're dealing with and what the twin target of their motivation are 75% of the sales over because you know exactly what to give them through your product or service. Are you right? Some persons say, I need the money, I need the growth, I need the contribution. Now you can say, then you can ask the question, what does money give you? You can find their state, pleasure state. Are you with me? How do you feel? It's amazing. It's a theory, really great information. When you understand person's value and believe, then easy to sell your product. When you understand person's value, then maybe your product is awesome, very good. The person won't buy it because his value doesn't fulfill your product. So far, you're with me? Well done. In buying strategy, you must know person's problem. The key element is researching for problems and magnifying the heart is this. We need to know who we are dealing with so we can meet their needs and wants. What's going on with that person? What's going on with that person? What do they really want? Knowing this information will allow us to determine what is missing from their life. I'm repeating again. What do they really want? Now you can ask the question, what do you really want in this course, in your life? What do you really want? When you say you really want, maybe you say, I need a car, I need a success, I need a relationship, I earn the amount of money, anything maybe you really want. What you ask the simple questions, you already know build the rapport. Then you ask the question, what do you really want? Knowing this information will allow us to determine what is missing from their lives. The reason we want to magnify the heart is because we want to focus their attention on the things that they already have a pain about. Maybe most of the time people say, I want to be slim, I want to be rich, I want to be healthy. You say, oh, you want some missing. Oh my God, you say, ooh. We want to focus on the pain and magnify is it enough that they are now motivated to take actions to make a change. Our product will be the solution. Have you noticed that? Because we already in the last session they say, oh, if you do this diet, you can lose weight in 7 days. You can have this pill. You don't need to do exercise. You don't need diet with this pill. You can lose the weight. This, if you want to be fit, you can use this. Now, your product will be the solution. In order to determine someone's values, the key questions is, what is the most important thing to you in life? Write this question. This is a very powerful question. What is the most important thing to you in life? I'm repeating again. In order to determine someone's values, the key question is, what is the most important thing to you in life? This will establish toward life value. For example, someone might say, what is really important to me is love, joy, money. Remember, if they say money, ask them, what does money give you? What does money give you? And what does love give you? What does joy give you? Then you can find out their pleasure state. Then we'll give you the end value rather than the means value. If you wanted to find out their values is buying a car, you would say, for example, salesperson, what would be the most important to you in buying a car? I'm repeating again this question. What would be most important to you in buying a car? Perspective would say, what's the most important about buying a car is speed. Maybe he says speed or luxury or maybe brand, anything he can say that. Then you say, same, you can ask this, what does speed give you? What does speed give you? Then he say a sense of power. You say, what is a state? Is a pleasure, sense of power. You got it then. Has know what they want from a car. Power and speed are the means. The buying strategy behind human behavior comes down to value and rules. The state we want to get and the belief or rules we have about what we need to order to make it happen to feel fulfilled, because his pleasure, a sense of power, he needs a power. Now your product will be the solution. How can he get sense of power when he buy your product? Are you with me? Now you write your answers. If the person has a sense of power, how my product help this? How my product fulfill his need or want, his desire? Because this is a missing, a sense of power. If he say, I need some money, then he say, what does money give you? Maybe he say freedom. Then he say, what does freedom give you? You can ask these kind of questions. You can find his pleasure state, right? Now we're going to detail and discover archives of values. All states are not created equal in order to determine a person's end value. When they give you a means value, ask a question. For example, if they say, what is most important to me is football. If they say, football, ask, what does playing football give you? What does playing football give you? If they say something like power, friendship, what you get? They get here power and friendship. They need a power in their life, they need a friendship. You say, oh my God, he needs a friendship, he needs a power. You now know what ends value really motivate them in their life. In their what they motivate them? Power and friendship. What does playing football give you? What does money give you? What does relationship give you? Ask these kind of questions. You can find his motivational factor. In order to find moving away from values, simple ask the questions. What would you do almost anything to avoid? What would you do almost anything to avoid? What are the things you would like to avoid at all costs in a transactions with other people? What are the feeling or state you don't want to feel in life? It's a very powerful question. What are the feeling or states you don't want to feel in life? Maybe you can say you find their pain now. You can find their wound. What are the feeling or stage you don't want to feel in the life? Now you can write your answer. What are the feeling or state I don't want in my life? You can write your answer. You can write your answer now. Maybe you can find so many things want feel in the life. Maybe says one broke, one broke your relationship, anything, want to be live unhealthy. Too many things you want in your life as a big list. This I don't want this, I don't want this. What are the feeling or state you want to avoid in life at almost all cost? What are the feeling or state you want to avoid in life at almost all cost? Remember, you're not selling a product, you're selling state. People buy their wants, their emotional reason to buy, not their needs, not your needs, their own reasons. Decision making is a beginning of consequence. Now let's take a look at the second element that affect our behavior. The value of the target, or how we go about meeting the target. The way we go about achieving the state we want is based out of our beliefs or rules, because every single person has a belief and rules. For example, it's a very simple example. Two people might value respect. They say respect. Maybe now, listen it very careful. What they have different rules for. What do it if you respect someone? One person never raise his voice because his rules decayed. If you can't say something positive, then you don't say anything at all. Another person says if you respect someone, you have to be honest. The one person say if you respect someone, you shouldn't raise your voice. And one person say if you respect someone, you should be honest with them and express yourself fully and openly and not hide any emotions. If you don't do that, then it means then you don't respect. For example, this is my respect. They say if someone, my kids raise a voice, this means they no respect me. Then I say, oh, they no respect me. Maybe some people they say, my kids respect me. This meaning they're honest with me. They tell me everything. If my kids don't tell me with me, they no respect me. This means every single person has a different rules. If you do it, see. So you see, you can have similar or the same exact target, but have different way of going about it. This is why people, even with similar values, often behave so radically. Okay, now maybe you say, so what's the most important to me in my relationship is a respect. Because I say, how do you feel when you have a respect? Maybe say when my partner is really honest with me, or my partner listen to me. This is this meaning he respect me. You get it? Maybe another person say, I have a different. He say respect me when he's honest with me. Every single person a different rule to get their state, pleasure state. Just ask them questions. Has a reason I give you so many questions to ask them, then you can find out their internal world, then easy to sell your product. Okay, now you can stretch your body. Stretch your body. Just if you sit down, you can stand up and stretch your body. Stretch your body. Take a deep breath. Stretch your body. Just take a deep breath. Now I'm going to more detail in it. I hope you get it. If you know, we can go into more detail because people has a different values, different beliefs, and different rules. You must understand. If you don't understand your buying strategy, they won't buy your product. So you have to understand this. This is for you. And if you sell, if they really want something else or you're selling something else, people won't buy it. They're going to scream at this. This is a very boring. This is no interesting. I waste my time 1 hour in the presentation. The way to get somebody's rule is to take the key questions. Now, how can you figure out somebody's rule? Now you can say, how do you know when your value is being met? How do you know when your value is being met? Write it. Now you can ask this question from yourself. Right? How do you know when your value is being met? What has to happen for you to know you're experiencing respect is, or being respectful. For example, how do you know you're respected? How do you, where's you get the feeling you're respected? Write it. Maybe you say money, success, then you can say that. How do you know when your values being met? What has to happen for you to know you're experiencing respect or being respectful? For example, I'm repeating again so it will go in your subconscious mind. When you ask this question, you already know that has a reason. I'm repeating again. It's for you. In order to effectively persuade someone, you want to know what you're dealing with. You should know who's dealing with. You want to know 2 or 3 of their key life value and their rules, what it takes for these to be met. You also need to know 2 or 3 of the values they have around your product and what their value, what their rules are for knowing that these values are being met. Repeating again this question, you also need to know if someone say sense of power, respect, honestly, or maybe growth, maybe money and success. Now you also need to know 2 or 3 of the values that they have around your product and what their rules are, now knowing that these values are being met by your product. If you were going to sell someone, for example, I give you more deep. If I were going to sell someone an investment, for example, I'm sending an investment, I would first find out some life value and ask questions like, what is really most important to you in life in order to a great job for you? I would just be curious. What's really most important to you in life? Starting this conversation with that. His answer is success. Now we have a life value. We figure out the vehicle. He uses vehicle to get a pleasure. So far, you with me? He says success. We got a vehicle and value. Now let's say we want to find out a value he has around making an investment. My product is investment. We would say, so what is the most important to you in making an investment? I ask a question, what is most important to you in making an investment? His answer is return. If I want to invest some money, I want a good return. Everyone is on a good return. Then we would find out his rules to return. We will say, well, what has to happen for you to know you're getting good return? I ask the same questions. Find out how he meet his value. I ask the question, how? Well, what has to happen? What has to happen for you to know? What has to happen for you to know you are getting a good return? You can assume the same question. What has happened for you? You know you're respected. What has to happen for you? You are successful. Ijasa. Or how do you know when you're going to get a return that you want? His answer is, maybe his answer could be 28% annual, or maybe 28, or maybe 20 or 30, anything. He say that. Then you say, oh, he need a 28% annual. Right? To find out additional values term of investment, you say, well, what else is important to you making an investment? He says security. He needs a good return, 28%, and also he needs a security. How do you know if it is secure? His answer is that it's a guarantee by the broker. By asking these kind of questions, we know what he want most in life is to be succeed. He needs succeed. He want to invest the money. He want a good return, 28%. And also he need the security. He need the guarantee by a broker. By asking these kind of questions, we know what he want most in life, succeed in investment. What he wants is a huge return and security and guarantee. That's absolutely guaranteed. This is information that we might want to know up front. We know how to persuade these persons. Then them into reality of the investment world. Now, because if the product have good return, if you have the security, the person will buy your product. But before we figured out what is a value and how he meet his value, it's too easy to sell your product. So far you with me? I think you're a little surprised. So it's a very simple but really powerful strategy. This only asks the questions rather than, because when you already have clear, he need a good return, he need the security, what you think, you just only sell it. You don't have to go for 1 hour presentation. Maybe in 20-25 minutes you can finish your meeting, and you can sell your product, right? Again, it's important to see what's most important to him, the return or the security. It will make a huge difference in how you're going to sell to this man, depending upon what is a value most. Because what is a value most? What is a value most? Return and security. Finally, once you know his value, it's a very simple to motivate him. You're beginning to disturb him by saying, are you making 28% now any place? No. Well, how much money are you losing by not investing? What would be good time for you get start on creating the future you want? We offering give you 28%. If you don't invest the money now, what are you going to lose? He said, ooh, I'm losing a lot of money. Then he said, we can give them pain as well. What would be good time for you to get start on creating the future you want and getting the benefit you desire? If you don't do this for the next 5 years, what would the impact be for you? Do you feel scared? Now with no investment. He said, do you feel scared? Now with no investment. All these questions are designed to probe for the problem and start them up emotionally. For example, now he going to make a picture in his mind. If we invest the money in with this person, for I'm going to go for 5 years, I'm going to get 28%. How much my money will be after 5 years? And if I don't invest the money with this person, my money will be same. But if I invest the money, my money is going to increase. But if I don't invest it, my money will be same amount. Then he said, oh my god, I want to invest it, plus I get the security as well, plus I get good return as well. And he's already motivated, and he already logical thinking. If I invest the money, I have good return. If I don't invest the money, I don't have any returns. He just think with logical as well. Then he say, yes, I think this is a great opportunity for me to invest the money. And simple way of doing this, to use the formula, you have already learned to create interest. You grab the interest and you say the purpose this time is just to get your answer to a few questions. Do you mind if I ask them? Please note these questions. The purpose of this time is just to get your answers to a few questions. Do you mind if I ask them? Now you have their interest and they will answer your questions with happy state. Or you could say, I'm not just a salesperson who comes in and does sell my product or do my job. I really want to get to know what your really needs are. Could we spend just a couple minutes so I get an idea of what is most important to you? so I can utilize that information to really assist in making this program work for you. All you need to do is give people's because a reason that is in their interest of them to answer your questions. You're not going to answer them questions. They're going to answer the question. Most people will answer your questions so long as you also have rapport and their interest, and you know their values and rules and believe they will answer your questions. So far we covered what is important to you in your life, means value, ends value. If you don't get your value, how do you feel? Archives of value, toward value. What is the most important thing to you in life? Away from value, what would do almost anything to avoid? Global belief, I'm, people are, life is, real, F then. So far, how do you feel? If you can ask these kind of questions, if you know person's value, beliefs and rules, how easy to sell your product. Will you get the rejection? What do you think? Will they will they listen to you? What do you feel then if you know this all knowledge? If you have already knowledge in your brain, you already set this knowledge in your mind. And then if you need extra help, we can work on together. You can book a coaching session with me. Then we can. I love to help you because this is when you know how to find out their person's value, beliefs and rules, to know how you can develop, you can see their pain and pleasure. You can find so many ways you can figure out their emotional reason to sell your product, and automatically they're going to set up their logic reason in their mind. Your work is going to be very less to sell your product. So far, how do you feel after this conversation? How do you feel this? How do you feel now? You feel happy? You feel more intelligent? You feel more confident? How do you feel? I know you're feeling so great. You're so happy. And you already wrote what is most important to you in your life. You already wrote it. This meaning you figured out your own values. Well done. The second one is called the frame of reference. Focus. What do I mean by frame of reference? Focus, what I mean is where does a person focus their attention to know whether something is a right or what they should do it or not to do it. How often you in your mind you're thinking, I should do this, I shouldn't do this is good for me, this is not good for me. How often do you this? Especially when, have you noticed that when we have a raining day, I should go for a walk, I shouldn't go for a walk, just leave or watch a TV or cup of tea. This is in every single person has the mind, should I do this or shouldn't do this? It's some people have what we call an internal frame of reference. What they mean is that they go inside to decide whether something is right or wrong, good or bad. Always in our minds, you say, should I drink? Should I drink? This is a good or bad. We always think in our mind, wrong, good or bad, and there's a primary place. They check, they go inside their gut and they take a look around and say, okay, this is a good, this is a bad. Some people have an external frame of reference, which mean their primary focus to decide what they focus to do, whether something is a good or not. Their primary focus is a usually do what other people think. Now, like all generalization, this is a generalization. That is, it is extremes. There are people that are balanced, somewhere in between, but most people lean toward being more focused on what the environment has to say externally to make a decision, and some people are more focused on what the internal environment, what they just feel their guts is right. They say, I'm going to buy it. I think this is right for me. Or some people, they ask another people, should I do or no? You motivate people totally different. Can you sell to them totally different? I give you an example. The question you would ask to find out whether somebody was internal, external world, be something like, what is your question? How do you know when you're really good at something? How do you know when you're really done a good job? Now you can ask this question yourself. How do you know when you're really good at something? How do you know when you have really done a good job? Then you can figure out yourself, you're internal or you're external. Now, I verbally, when I ask the question, people give you two or one of the basically two response. They will say something like, well, I just know. I just know when it's done a good job. I just feel it. I just know it inside. What kind of person is it, internal or external? Yeah, clearly he's an internal because he had good feeling. This, I did something nice today. This is done. Maybe I wrote a report. I passed my exam. I know I did it well. Clearly, this is internal person. Other people say think like, well, it's my boss tells me, or if my wife tells me, or my brother tells me, or if I get the payback. I get the paycheck. I get the money. For example, last time I sell very good product. How I figure out? Because I got paycheck. I got high commission. Or they have something on the outside. They are what kind of person, external, and they are focused to decide what they use a frame of reference to make a decision. Real critical. Now how can they use a reference? When the people say you did a good job, or they have internal frame, I did a good job. Real critical. Here, so what do you think would happen if you went to somebody who has a strong internal frame or reference and you told them what they should do? You said, you should do this. You just gave suggestions. I suggest you should do this and you should follow this, and I have ordered this. Having somebody with an internal for reference response about type of communication, yes, they shut down because they don't like, I'm going to tell you should do this, because they already know how to do this. They completely shut down. They will fight you because they don't feel respected. By after all, they know what's right. What if you talk to somebody with an external frame of reference? You say, what I think, you should just decide on your own because I don't want to influence you. They freak out because they want you should tell them you should do this. They want to be influenced by one of them say, what do you think I should do? So what you want to see, where people are and met them in a place. If I see someone has internal frame or reference, I will say something like, listen, I don't know what's right for you. You're the only person that's a person. You can figure out what's right for you. That's a right for you. I don't know what's a right or wrong. We talked about early. Would you like to stop this now, or would you like to do something else? What is called double bound. It was the same thing, so I gave him the illusion of choice and I gave a situation where he gets to make the decision. Helpful, very good, and I will be able to influence in a very powerful way. Otherwise, well, just shut down again. Some people are more balanced, but which one is a right, which was the right one, should be moving toward personal, moving away, should you be internal or external, which one? Hi, there's no right or wrong. in my mind, in life, striving for balance is a useful. That's just my belief system where there's no right or wrong. There's just what is we all use different strategy, and we need to see what those are. Treat people as individual. Now, if some people have make a decision with external or internal, nobody wrong or right. Their own strategy, their own belief system, their own rules, their own values. The third major distinction they might give you are people focus on what's a possible in a situation. They focus on the necessity. Now, this may sound like it's a very similar to toward and away from. Ashayana? It isn't. Listen for the distinction now. It is a possible for somebody move towards pleasure, meaning what motivates, then has a desire for pleasure. For them, they only do it when they feel it's necessary. Does that make sense? Or is it possible for somebody with the kind of person who moves away from pain? That is when I think about motivation. That motivation and is a desire to avoid pain. When they avoid pain just because there's a possible pain like good. If I do that, that might happen. If I try this, if I do this diet, I will lose weight. They have a possibilities. I might happen, and so what happened is sure enough they do anything to avoid it. So you see that this is a different what a person is motivated by possibility, necessity is very important because of their necessity. Person, you're trying to sell my product, but you don't show them where it's absolutely necessary. They will not buy. If a person is a possibility person, all you got to show much plus lot of people buy just because it's a possible, because you can, they want it. Okay, I'll give you another example for possibility and necessity. Do you want to hear another example? Okay, we can go in the deep. Possibility and necessity. Some people are motivated by seeing the possibility in a product or a situation. Others are motivated only when they see the necessity of buying or changing. Possibility, people will give you reason when you ask them why they because something. They look for opportunities, potential, what might be. When you present your product to a possibility person, show them all the option. Ask them how many ways they can see your product or service will fit their need. Show your product. Ask them your product or service will fit their needs. For some motivated by necessity, the world is a place of rules and limits. Most of the time, they act only when there's a clear necessity to do so. Instead of presentations, reason for possibilities to a necessity, people ask them. You can ask a question, what would you have to know in order to purchase my product today? Ask the simple questions. What would you have to know in order to purchase my product today? What have to occur for you to see the necessity of this investment? Now you can ask these questions. Why did you choose your present job or product? Why did you choose your car or house? You can this maybe, for example, if you say, why did you choose your present job? Maybe you think this is a possibility or this is a necessity. Then you can figure out how do you purchase your product or service. Then you can figure out your patterns. Then easy to find another person's buying strategy. How do you feel so far? Now just take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. Relax. Just relax. Be smile on your face. Cause you're getting intelligent day by day. And you feel so happy. I know that. Now is our fourth number distinction, junk size. People absorb information in a specific syntax. Some people cannot absorb detail until they know the overload target, the big picture. Others are overwhelmed. I'm the same. If I can see something, especially for the Christmas day, you have to get anything, you have to make it, you have to go for the single detail. No way, I'm the overwhelmed. Your job as a salesperson is to discover the way you perspect chunks. You can ask simple questions or break down. If you are going to do a project together, would you like to know all the detail first or the big picture first? Which would you really have to know, the big picture or the detail? I'm repeating again these questions. If you are going to do a project together, would you like to know all the detail first or the big picture first? Which would you really have to know, the big picture or the detail? Or break down information and then do present your product. Then you know the person like a junk or he needed detail in, then easy to present your presentation. For someone who needs a big picture first, tell them the overall benefits your product will give them, then talk about the specific of price, amount, size, timing extra. If your prospect wants the detail first, give him or her the specific information of your product. Show him or how it will impact on different area of life, your business or your life, and then show them her or he or him the total benefit your product will produce. As a top producer communicator, you need to be able to junk in whatever way your product is comfortable with. Another thing I have noticed, when you give the plan to people, because we have the past, present, and future. Most of the time, they stay in the past or present or future, because we have to figure out where they stay most of the time. You can ask simple questions. When you drive the car, what are you thinking? When you drive the car, you're thinking you are in the past, or you're in the present, or you're in the future. Just mean you present, you focus on driving, or if you drive the car, just think about the past or you think about the present. This is a very important, you figure out this. It's very easy to present your product, then they know what they really needed. For example, how we orient ourselves in time is one of the most important meta program. This determines when our primary focus will be in processing information, past, present, future. Now, how we can use this strategy in our selling strategy? Past. These people refer to their past experience to provide a frame or reference for new information when presenting your product or service. Emphasize a product's proven, track, record, or find out if the client has used a similar product in the past. Or you can ask the question, what is the most important to you? Our product's past performance, what the product can do for you right now, or what it will do in the future. Before you can really want to figure out the time where the person stay most of the time. You can ask this question. I'm going to repeat again. What is the most important to you? Our product's past performance, what the product can do for you right now, or what if will do it in the future. Present orient people are interested in now. They are often open a new experience and products as long as they can have them immediately. When selling to a present-oriented person, a demonstrate of your product will often create a good result. By the way, you would better have a sample on hand and be able to promise immediately deliver. Future, if somebody focus on the future, these are clients who want to know the future benefits of your product or service. Show them the long-term improvement your system can give them or paint them a picture of their kids growing up, the house you want them to buy. Now, because this is very easy, because sometimes people they say, no, I need the past reference. How will work in the future? How work in the present? They want to really find out this. If you can give this detail, they can easy to buy your product. You don't have to remember this old stuff. Just go through, then just keep in your head this if the past, present. Okay, just come with the flow. Maybe this is so many strategies. You just only figure out one or two strategy. You know better. But if you really want to just figure out 2 or 3 strategy, what are the values and beliefs and rule, it's easy to sell them. This is extra information which make you more knowledgeable or make you more confident. This is convincer strategy. Does this person have to see, for example, this is a very powerful strategy. Then you know how persons see, how they observe the information, like visual, auditory, kinesthetic, or digital. How you can give them reference. They say, oh, this is really good. Right. Okay, now maybe you can ask, maybe I can give you this example. You can ask the questions. How do you know a co-worker is a good at his or job? What would it take for you to know this product is right for you? Maybe then the person say, I need a proof, I need the videos, I need auditory reference. Maybe he can tell you, you can say, my God, just give them the reference. In order to be convinced of something, we need to have the evidence presentations in certain way in a sophistic representational system. Does this person have to see, for example, see Janet Smith working in order to know she's doing a good job? For this perspective, you want to show them your product with brochure. Demonstrate. Show them brochure. Then how he figure out how no is working very good. Show them. Then he can feel it. Then he can have a look at brochure, any poster, anything. Just show them, or just they can take home as well. You can give them. Another, does this person need to hear? He just want to hear. Other people want to do a good job. Jan Smith is doing. The person would need to hear about your product from you to from other people. Show them reference, video reference. Does this person have to work Jan Smith and get a feeling about the way she works? For this perspective, you will want to give them hands-on experience of your product, or even give them product or service for trial basic. As a reason, have you noticed so many people they say 30 days free, this is 1 month for free, this is maybe has a reason, so you can try the service, then you know this is right for me. Does this person need to read about the product? Maybe work Jan does in a report or letter, maybe he wants to see the writing reference. Give them writing reference. Then you will want to give these people testimonial, newspaper articles, reports on your product. This is another thing. How often, I ask the question, how often does someone have to demonstrate to you then you're doing good job before you are convinced? You can ask very simple questions. If you don't know he's a auditory, he's a kinesthetic, he's a visual, you can ask this simple question. How often does someone have to demonstrate to you they are doing a good job before you are convinced? Maybe they say, they show me very nice video, that they show me very good reference, they give me free product when I went home, I used it, it's really good, then I bought it. That's right. Then you can easy to figure out their strategy. That's right. This question discover the time frame and frequency of occurrence that the person require in order to be convinced. How do you feel now? When you know this all knowledge, how you can figure out with yourself, because then you know what have you discovered your buying strategy so far? Did you discover it? I think this is a cost or convenience. which is the most important to you, that this product is a cost effective, or that is make things easier or more convenient. What do you think? When you buy something, you see the cost or you see the more convenient when you buy something. For the cost consciousness, you want to show them the long term saving or the excellent financing plan which allow for small payment over time, or the fact that the cost of your product is going up next month and you can offer them a great deal right now. If your perspective is a more convenience oriented, point out of the external features of your product, all the service you and your company will provide, the saving of time and effort which your product will produce. How do you feel? We're going to summary. So how much we discovered so far. If a person's primary strategy is moving away from would you, number one, continues to show them why they should buy now to gain some benefits. Number B, sheer thanks that they will miss out on it if they don't take action right now. Because have you noticed, they say if you can buy this product in 2 hours, you can get that price, but after 2 hours they get the full price. Give them scarcity. Number second, if a person has an external frame or reference, should you tell them why they should do and give them direction. Tell them you know what they know, what is right for them. If the person has external frame or reference, you do. Are you with me? You got it? This is our summary. It is possible for a person who's someone who moves toward to only do so when they think something is necessary. Is it possible to have a moving toward person also have a necessity frame of reference? What do you think? Yes or no? Ask them. If you have a mixed matter and you're trying to sell them a product, what is the best way to deal with them? What is the best way to deal with the person who's like who like a junk detail, who likes the Hello Anjuman, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਂ point बोला ना, what's the best way to deal with a person who's a complete oriented? Okay, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ middle up ਕੀਤਾ, cut it, or cut कर दियो, तो start now, okay, I'm starting now. What is the best way to deal with a person who's a complete oriented? If you take a person who's a major focus in on the large strokes and you tell them lots of detail, how do you feel? Because you now have the more than 4, 5, 6 strategy. Now you can pick one strategy, then you can learn it and use it. I think, it's my favorite is find the value. What is the most important to in your life? When you figure out what is the most important to you in your life, you can easy to figure out these 5 or 6 distinctions. It's very easy to figure out. Now, does the person have a journal or sophistic focus? The size of the junk they pay attention to make a huge difference in how people get along. People who are into the big junk detail dislike. Some people say, I don't like junk, I like fully detail. Dislike the details. And people who are into details dislike people who do bored. Something where you can the fully detail, they bored, they fall asleep. They do not think it's a being intelligent. People who are past orient buy stocks on their past performance. Future possibility people are blue sky orient. They are willing to take the big risk and get the bigger winner. Most people like the convenience and people like a price. For example, in a car sale, most people mention cost as a major factor. Just most automatic, maybe some people like automatic cars because they like more convenient. I have to prefer drive automatic car. I don't like manual. So you like, doesn't matter if the expenses or price, you prefer the convenient. You have to figure out the person's more convenience or cost focus. And if you just show them benefit, tell you with list of additional comfort features, benefits, convenience usually will override the cost concern. Now you have to decide which strategy you're going to use it, and if you need extra help, you can book a coaching session with me. I'd love to help you. So this is the close of this session. Great job. So go out now and do your assignment. Have fun with it, and I will join again tomorrow for the next session. What is the next session? Creating conviction and test closing. We're going to discover tomorrow. But you have to do your homework. Have a fun and God bless you. Well done. You're working so hard. You're very committed. You're committed to excellence. And how do you feel? You becoming top producer. You becoming top salesperson in your industry. How do you feel then? Now just give me the big smile and happy. We will speak tomorrow, next session. Until live with passion. Love yourself. God bless you.